Hi guys, doing and welcome to another Arc Garage video. If you want to see more Alfa Romeo related content, make sure to hit like, share and subscribe. Today I'm going to be doing a review on the MultiEcuScan 4.6, which is basically a registered version that I paid 50 euros for. Now I'm doing this video for the sake of all Alfa Romeo owners, and I can promise you that this setup that I'm going to show you today will give you all of the options that my professional 2000 euro diagnostic tool has. Besides the 50 euros that I had to spend on the software itself, I had to spend maybe like 40-50 euros, something like that, on this set of cables. The main one that I use is this black elm cable right here. These on the left side, I only use the green one and the red one. The red one is used in combination with KKL cable to access the airbag module, while the green one is used in combination with elm cable to access the ABS module. Now all of those cables also come with this paper right here, which state the links for the drivers, and there is also basically a list of instructions that gives you some advice on how to use them properly. Alright, to download the MultiEcuScan you gotta go to their website, which is this one right here. I also suggest that you read all of these notes listed. They also state that some elm cables have issues with resistors which prevent them to connect to certain modules. To download it, you gotta click on this button right here. You gotta select the destination folder. I suggest desktop, and you gotta click save. The download will start. I'm not gonna let it finish, I'm just gonna cancel it because the software is already installed on my computer. But the process is extremely simple and you can do it under a minute. Just open up the setup and the installation will be done in, as I said, in a minute. Now if you want to buy the registered version, which I strongly suggest, you gotta go back to their website and follow a few additional steps, which are again very simple to follow and anybody can pretty much do it. Now, as I said, I suggest buying a registered version because I tried the correct version and everything else, and there were always some issues with cables and things like that. Now I'm gonna plug in one of the cables into the computer. Keep in mind, it doesn't have to be plugged into the car. I'm gonna go to System Properties and Device Manager. Go to the ports and you'll see this one right here, the COM12. That's basically the KKL cable that I just plugged in. If it had the exclamation mark right next to it, that would mean that you have to download the driver for it. If that's the case, go to the website listed on the instructions, and it will basically download the driver for that particular cable. As you can see right here, I'll show you how to download it. I'll basically type in the address and I'll hit the enter. The download will automatically start. Open it up, extract this folder right here to desktop. Now go back to your device manager, right click, go to properties, driver, and you will have option right here to select the driver. I don't really remember what is it, but it looks something like this. If I go to update, you basically navigate it to the folder on your desktop, as you can see right here, and you basically, all you gotta do is hit OK, and the driver will be installed for that particular cable. Now I'm gonna take the M cable and plug it into the OBD port. I'm gonna plug the other side into the laptop. Alright, the first thing that I gotta hit settings right here, you gotta go to interface and select the elm cable. Alright, if the serial port wasn't selected right here, you would have to select it manually. So I'm gonna leave it as it is and I'm gonna hit OK. Alright, as you can see right here, they support several car manufacturers: Alfa Romeo, Fiat, Lancia, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Suzuki. We're gonna check them out all real fast. We are most interested in Alfa Romeo. As you can see right here, the supported models range from Alfa Romeo 145 to Stelvio, so they pretty much got everything covered, as you can see right here on this list. Alright, let's check out some of the other car manufacturers real fast. I'm gonna select my car from the list, which is Alfa Romeo GT 1.8 twin spark. The system is engine and the control module is Bosch Motronic. I'm gonna hit connect. Keep in mind that the key has to be in the on position. And we are connected. Now I'm gonna click right here or on errors. This is where your codes would come up and this is where you clear them right here. Here are the parameters. You got a bunch of them right here, anything from odometer to oxygen sensor, mass airflow sensor, and things like that. So all of these parameters, if you are tracking down an issue with your car, can be very useful because you can actually track them in real time. This odometer right here, as you can see, it says 173,000 while the number on the dash is 182 or something like that. That's because this number right here is calculated by the engine ECU based on injection and things like that. You also got number of programmings and odometer at last programming. Those three things in combination would usually indicate if somebody messed with the odometer. You also got a bunch of different things like throttle angle, gas pedal position, things like that. As I said, mass airflow sensor, spark advance, injection time, air temperature, like all of those things are basically used by the engine ECU to get the 14.7 to 1 air fuel ratio. If I hit on the graph right here, this is where I can track the information in real time. I got selected the throttle angle and the gas pedal position. Now I've hit the gas pedal and you can see it shows right here on the graph. As I just said, this might not seem as important, but this is actually one of the most important things when you are trying to diagnose an issue on pretty much any car. Now I'm gonna move on to the actuators. There's a list right here including AC compressor, fan first speed, injectors, fuel pump relay, and things like that. And what you can use this for is to execute a certain action. For example, you can activate the radiator fan. If I click on the on button right here, the fan will start and you can check if it's good or not. I don't know if you can hear it, but the fan is activated right now. I'm gonna hit the board. Now you can do the same thing for any of the items on this list. you don't have to use the manual button, you can use the execute button and it will basically do the same thing. Again, as I said, it's a great way to troubleshoot any problem on your car. You can use this fuel pump relay right here. I don't know if you can hear that, but the fuel pump just activated. Now this is again a great way to troubleshoot any issues with your pump. If the relay doesn't activate, you know that you got some kind of electrical problem prior to the pump. You also got injectors right here. You can activate any of them as well, but make sure that you pay attention to these notes right here. They will list the procedures and potential warnings and issues. If we go to adjustments, you got self-adaptation reset right here. This function is basically if for installation of the new components. As it says right here in the notes, if you install things like new oxygen sensor or NOx sensor or things like that, you can execute this operation to adapt the ECU to the new part. Now we're gonna move on to the ABS. For that, if I hit on the connect button right here, you will see that it will actually warn you that you need to plug in the green adapter, as you can see right here. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my ELM cable and I'm gonna use it in the combination with the green adapter to gain access to the ABS module. So basically all you have to do is take your ELM cable, take the green adapter, plug one side into the ELM cable and plug the other side into the OBD port on your car. Now that I've done that, I'm gonna select the second option and I'm gonna hit connect. I'm gonna hit Y. And we are connected to the ABS module. If I click on the errors right here, I got no fault codes, but this is where your fault codes will be located. Parameters, again, you got a list of different parameters right here, like steering angle, actual engine torque from CAN, things like that. There's whole lot of things right here, and you can actually check all of them. You can also check them and check for the signal in real time through the graph option. You got the brake pedal switch. You got actually this one doesn't do anything. If I click on the one above, now if I hit the brake pedal, you can see that the brake light switch comes on. So you can do things like that. Again, this is a great way to troubleshoot any potential issue that you have either with your ABS system or with your braking system. If I click on the graph right here and if I hit start, you can see if I hit the brake pedal, you can actually, there's actually pressure in bars which are measured at all times. When I release the brake pedal, again the pressure drops. I'm gonna hit stop. Again, you can do the same thing for all of these parameters. I'm gonna move on to the actuators. You can see we got 10, 15, 20 things right here which you can activate manually. Again, if I hit the pump motor right here and if I hit the execute, alright, I can hear some sound coming from underneath the hood. So basically you can activate the pump motor. You got a few other things right here. I'm not gonna cover them all because this video would last for a couple hours at least. So that's what it is. If we go to adjustments, you can see right here you got steering angle calibration, you got hydraulic unit bleed, hydraulic circuit 1 bleed, and hydraulic circuit 2 bleed. I'm not gonna mess with this right now because I'm not doing any work on my car, but just so you know, you got these options as well right here. Now I'm gonna hit the disconnect, and we are moving on to the next module, which is the airbag one. Now to connect to the airbag module, you're gonna need a red adapter, and you're gonna need to use it in combination with the blue KKL cable. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take my KKL cable, plug the red connector into it, and I'm gonna plug in the other side into the OBD port on the car. Alright, now I'm gonna go back to MultiEcuScan. Before we connect, I gotta go to settings. I'm gonna set interface, and I'm gonna change from this list from ELM to KKL cable, and I'm also gonna select the correct port. I'm gonna hit OK, and now I'm going to hit connect. And we are connected. If I hit on the errors right here, there are no fault codes. I'm gonna move on to the parameters again. You've got 1520 parameters, which you can select right here. You can check out the information on them. There are some things that are essentially not available. These are basically for the pressure switches in the seats. Since my car doesn't have that, there is no info available. Alright, again, you can check all of these things in graph, but I don't see a reason why you would need to. When it comes to actuators, you got failure indication light, passenger airbags, exclusion control light, seatbelt control light, and rear side airbags control light. So all those lights are basically, if you want to test them on your dash, you would select one of them and hit execute again. I'm not gonna do that because it's not as important to list. Moving on to the dashboard module, I've connected my ELM cable again, so I have to hit settings, move to interface, and select it from the list right here. I also gotta select the serial port, which is this one right here. I'm gonna hit OK, and before we connect, I'm gonna show you what happens if you select the wrong module and if you try to connect to it. So basically, as you'll be able to see right now, nothing happens. It just gives you the message. It says no response from the module. So if you don't know which one it is, you can go and try to connect with them one by one. Mine is this last one right here. We just connected to it. I'm gonna check for the errors. Again, luckily there are no fault codes. I'm gonna move on to the parameters. Now this is not really abundant. As you can see, you got only 7/8 of them. The odometer, fuel level, engine temperature, engine oil level, which actually my car doesn't have that option. You also got the engine speed, the vehicle speed, and the seatbelt alarm. As I said, if you need to, you can check all of those things in real time to graph. Now I'm gonna move on to the actuators. Now this is quite a big list. all of these things are basically connected to the dashboard. They are essentially warning lights and things like that. Or you can see right here, high beam control light, low beam control light, and what you can do, you can essentially select any of those items from this list, and by hitting the manual button or the execute, you can activate it and you can check if it's functioning properly. So the first thing I'm going to select the alternator control light, and I'm going to hit execute. Now we're going to check out on the dash what's going to happen. Alright, if we check the dash, it's giving us the battery charge low warning. Let's try something else. Right, here's the ABS light warning. So what I'm basically doing is hitting that execute button from the software itself. Let's check out a few other things. Here's the speedometer. Well, actually it's the immobilizer failure. Now let's check out the speedometer. Alright, this is kinda cool. It basically tests out the gauges. We're gonna check out one more. Let's see the temperature one. I'm using the manual button, so we're gonna check the increments as well. So here's the 100% temperature, here's the 50%, here's the 25%, and here's the 0%. So that's kinda neat. When it comes to adjustments, you got the right odometer right here, but if you read this note, it says that you can only increase the odometer and you can decrease it using this software. And it also gives you the warning if you type 999,999 that you won't basically do anything. I'm gonna move on to body module. This is also where you can do the proxy alignment procedure. You can also gain some CAN bus network info. I'm not gonna do those things. I'm gonna hit the body computer Morelli and I'm gonna hit connect. Let's check out the errors. Again, I got no fault codes. Alright, we again got a bunch of parameters right here. It gives you all of these statuses for all of these things like front doors, boot lid, door lock, and things like that. You can also check out the number of enabled keys, number of disabled keys, and number of stored remote controls. If you need to, you can follow them through graph. Now I'm moving on to the actuators. Again, you got a big list right here. You can do all kinds of things. You can basically activate any of the items on this list, like hazard lights, front interior light. We're gonna select that one right here, and let's see what's gonna happen if I hit the execute button right here. This option basically tests the interior light. It comes on and it goes out. Let's check out a few other things. I'm gonna try to lock the doors. I don't know if you can hear that, but the doors just locked. I'm gonna try to do the unlock as well. Again, I just unlocked the doors. I'm gonna move on to adjustments here. You got the indicators command. Now what this does, you can basically set it up when you lock your car, so the indicators can basically be set to come on or not to come on at all. You can also change the alarm mode according to the country. You can set it to Belgium, Netherlands, UK, and things like that. You also got the remote control programming. We did that in one of the last videos when I programmed the remotes, and you can also do the key programming. I'm gonna move on to the service. Again, I'm doing all this with the Elm cable. When it comes to parameters, you only got three: the odometer, service interval, and the last service distance. Now that's pretty much self-explanatory. You can use graph, but I don't see the need to. You can set up the service interval right here. Now it's set up on this car at 20k. I'm gonna leave it like that. I'm not gonna change it. You also can adjust the last service distance, and you can do the next service reset, as I also explained in one of our previous videos. So I'm gonna hit disconnect, and we are moving on to the climate control. Now this car has the dual zone. I'm gonna hit connect. Let's check out the errors. Alright, we got one here. It says climate control compressor, no signal stored. Now I don't have any issues with the AC. I'm guessing this might be one of the old codes. I'm gonna clear it out. I'm gonna hit the parameters. Again, you got a bunch of them right here. Here's the external temperature. You got passenger compartment air temperature, left sunshine sensor, recirculation, the mixing actuators, LCD display backlight, wiper control, interior lights, things like that. Now I'm gonna move on to the actuators. You got a left mixing actuator, right one, and a few other things. Now I'm gonna disconnect, and let's check out what else we got. Here's the option for the Bosch Xenon headlights. Since this car doesn't have them, I can't show you this option right here. We got one more, which is front door module. I'm gonna hit connect. Let's check out the errors, no fault codes. Moving on to parameters, you got external temperature, front left anti-trap sensor, things like that, mirror selection button, mirror movement button, windows, anti-trap sensors, basically not present. I'm gonna move on to the actuators. You got the driver side window riser control, passenger side window riser control, bottle lights, boot release, and all of the rest of the things on this list. I'm gonna try boot release just to show you one of them. Alright, I'm gonna select boot release and execute. I don't know if you can hear it, but the boot just opened. Now that would be all for this video. If you liked it, hit the like button and support our channel by subscribing and by sharing our content.